Have you ever noticed your cat suddenly drinking water like their life depends on it? Or using the litter box so frequently that you can't keep up with cleaning it? Most owners simply don't notice these signals, and that's a huge mistake. Because your cat is trying to tell you something extremely important. And if you miss these signs, the consequences can be catastrophic. I remember the day I first saw this in my own cat. She was always so playful, so active. And then suddenly, she started hiding. The water bowl emptied at an incredible speed. I had to clean the litter box 3 times a day. I thought it was just the heat. Or maybe she was drinking more. A small thing, right? But when I finally understood what was really happening, my hands literally started shaking. Right now, I'm going to tell you about a disease that veterinarians are diagnosing more and more often. A disease that literally steals your pet's life at the cellular level. And the scariest part is most owners don't notice it until it's too late. This is feline diabetes. And if you think it's rare, you're deeply mistaken. But let's start with the main thing. What actually happens in a cat's body with diabetes? This is so important that many veterinarians talk about it constantly. Imagine this. The body loses its ability to use glucose. It's like having a house full of food, but you physically can't eat it. Starvation in the midst of abundance. In cats, this works exactly like type 2 diabetes in humans. There's either not enough insulin, or the cells simply stop responding to it. And here's where it gets really strange. Glucose accumulates in the blood, reaching critical levels. Meanwhile, the cells are literally dying of starvation. A paradox. Your cat may be eating normally, may even be eating more than usual, begging for extra food, but losing weight. Ribs start protruding. You can feel the spine. Muscles are melting away because the body isn't getting energy from sugar and starts consuming itself. First the fat, then the muscles. It's a slow wasting from the inside. And what happens next surprises even the experts. The body searches for alternative energy sources, starts breaking down fats in emergency mode, and the breakdown products of these fats poison the blood. This leads to a cascade of complications that I'll tell you about later. But first, the moment that explains absolutely everything. Why do cats even get diabetes? This is one of the most common questions, and the answer will surprise you. Most often, the disease affects adult and senior cats. But age is only part of the picture. There are 4 main risk factors. And if your cat has even one of them, pay close attention. First, excess weight. This is the most powerful predictor of diabetes. Every extra pound on a cat is like a ticking time bomb. Fat cells produce substances that interfere with insulin's normal function. Cells become resistant to it, and there's your diabetes. Second, a diet high in carbohydrates. Many owners feed their cats cheap, dry food, and that stuff has more carbs than a donut. Cats are obligate carnivores. Their bodies are designed for meat, for protein, not for processing corn and wheat. When you feed a cat carbohydrates for years, when the pancreas works overtime, and sooner or later it gives up. Third, insufficient physical activity. Does your cat lie on the couch all day? Doesn't jump to high places? Doesn't play? This is a huge problem. Movement helps cells absorb glucose. Without activity, insulin resistance develops. This is a fundamental process. And fourth, prolonged therapy with glucocorticoids. These drugs are often prescribed for allergies and inflammation, but they raise blood sugar levels. And if the course drags on, the risk of diabetes increases many times over. But then something begins that I totally didn't expect when I started studying this topic. It turns out there are breeds that get diabetes much more often. And at the top of the list, Burmese cats. Just look at these statistics. Burmese cats develop diabetes 3 to 4 times more often than other breeds. It's genetic predisposition. Scientists are still studying the mechanisms, but the fact remains. If you have an overweight Burmese with low activity, you're in the highest risk zone. Norwegian forest cats, Tonkinese. They also have increased risk, though the data is less definitive. But the general principle is the same. Genetics loads the gun, and lifestyle pulls the trigger. And now, the moment of truth. How do you notice in time that something's wrong with your cat? The signs of diabetes in the early stages are subtle. Cats, as I already said, will never complain about pain. They just change their behavior. And this is where many owners make a huge mistake. They don't pay attention to the small things. The first signal, and the cat started urinating noticeably more often. The litter box is always wet. The litter doesn't have time to dry. You start cleaning it twice a day, then 3 times. You think maybe it's cystitis or age, but it could be diabetes. Why does this happen? When blood sugar skyrockets, the kidneys try to get rid of it. They excrete glucose in the urine. And along with glucose goes water. Lots of water. This is called osmotic diuresis. The cat is literally losing fluid. And here's the second signal. She starts drinking like crazy. The water bowl empties at an incredible speed. The cat approaches the water 10 times a day, stands by the bowl and drinks. This is an attempt to compensate for fluid loss. The body is dehydrating, and the cat instinctively feels it. The third signal, sachin, increased appetite alongside weight loss. Now this should really alarm you. The cat eats normally or even more than usual, begs for more food, but loses weight. Ribs start showing. You can feel the spine. Muscles waste away. This is the classic triad of diabetes symptoms: polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia with weight loss. If you see all 3, run to the vet. No alternatives. But there's another symptom that many people miss: behavioral changes. The cat becomes withdrawn, stops being affectionate, avoids contact, hides in dark corners, doesn't come when you call. Many people think it's just personality, or age, or being upset about something. But actually, this is a cry for help. The cat feels bad. Her body is working at its limit. And instinct tells her, hide. Because in the wild, a sick animal is easy prey for predators. This is how cats communicate with us. But we often don't understand their language. We don't notice these subtle signals. And time passes. And here's where the scariest part begins. What happens if you miss these first warning signs? Advanced diabetes is a completely different story. If in the early stages you can attribute the changes to anything, as the disease progresses, the symptoms become obvious and frightening. Diabetic neuropathy develops. This is nerve damage from high sugar levels. And the most characteristic sign is a change in gait. The hind legs weaken. The cat starts walking on her hocks. It looks like she's walking on half-bent legs, a plantigrade stance. She no longer jumps on the couch, doesn't climb to the windowsill. Movements become stiff, uncertain. Every step is difficult. This is one of the strongest signals of advanced diabetes. Then apathy appears. The cat lies around all day, doesn't respond to toys, isn't interested in food, loses interest in life. Vomiting may start. The body is poisoning itself. And now the most unexpected part. Without timely treatment, diabetic ketoacidosis develops. This is a condition where fat breakdown products, ketone bodies, accumulate in the blood and poison the body. The blood becomes acidic. All organs fail. This is a life-threatening complication. Requires immediate emergency care, IV fluids, intensive therapy, around-the-clock monitoring. And even with all that, it's not always possible to save the animal. I've seen cats in ketoacidosis. It's terrifying. They lie motionless, breathing heavy and rapid. There's a characteristic smell of acetone from the mouth. Consciousness is confused. They're dying, slowly and painfully, and all of this could have been prevented if the owner had noticed the first signs, if they hadn't missed that moment when the cat started drinking more. But let's go deeper. How do veterinarians make the diagnosis? Diagnosing diabetes in cats isn't guesswork. It's a clear protocol. The doctor orders blood and urine tests, and if elevated glucose is found in both samples alongside characteristic symptoms, the diagnosis is practically obvious. But there's one important nuance here. In cats, sugar levels can spike from stress. A visit to the clinic, unfamiliar people, smells, sounds, all this causes a release of adrenaline. And adrenaline raises glucose. This is called stress hyperglycemia. And to rule out this situation, the vet may order an additional test for fructosamine. This substance shows the average glucose level over the past 2 to 3 weeks. It doesn't depend on momentary stress. It's an accurate marker. When the diagnosis is confirmed, the hardest part begins. Treatment. And here's where it becomes clear. Diabetes in cats is not a death sentence, but it's serious work. Every day, no days off. The foundation of treatment is insulin therapy. Your cat will need insulin injections, usually twice a day. Morning and evening, strictly on schedule. Choosing the medication, calculating the dose. This is precision work. It's done only by a veterinary doctor. No self-treatment. This is critically important because too much insulin means hypoglycemia, a sharp drop in sugar, and that's no less dangerous than high levels. Hypoglycemia can kill a cat in a matter of hours. Seizures, loss of consciousness, coma. That's why the dose is selected individually, taking into account weight, condition, response to treatment. The first weeks involve constant monitoring, glucose measurements, dose adjustments, but insulin is only part of the therapy. Next, you need to change the cat's lifestyle, and here's what that looks like in practice. First is statin, weight control. If the cat is overweight, it needs to be reduced. Slowly, gradually. Rapid weight loss is dangerous for the liver, but every gram of fat lost is a step toward remission. Second, a special diet. Low carb, high protein, no dry food with corn, only quality wet food or natural nutrition. Meat, organ meats, what the cat's body was designed for. Carbohydrates cause glucose spikes, and with diabetes, every spike is a blow to the pancreas. A protein diet provides stable sugar levels. This is a fundamental principle. Third, physical activity. Your cat needs to move, play, hunt, at least pretend. This helps cells absorb glucose without insulin, reduces insulin resistance. Simple actions produce amazing results. Put the food bowl on an elevation. The cat will have to jump up. Play with a laser pointer every day for 10-15 minutes. Buy interactive toys. Make the cat move. And you know what's most surprising? With early diagnosis and proper treatment, remission is possible. A state where the cat can manage without insulin, when the pancreas recovers and starts working on its own. This isn't fiction. This is reality. Some cats achieve remission several months after starting therapy. They stop needing injections, continue following the diet, but live normal lives. The chances of remission are especially high if treatment started early. In the first months after diagnosis, when the pancreas isn't completely exhausted yet, when the cells are still capable of recovery. That's why it's so important not to miss the first symptoms. Every day of delay reduces the chances of remission. And now, a completely different question. Can this disease be avoided altogether? And here's where the answer will please you. Unlike many genetic diseases, diabetes in cats can be prevented in most cases. It's a result of lifestyle, which means it's in your hands. Prevention is simple but requires discipline. Every day, first a proper diet. Feed your cat quality food low in carbohydrates. Wet food is better than dry. Natural food is even better if you're willing to learn about nutrition. Don't give in to those hungry eyes. Cats are masters of manipulation. They'll beg for food even if they're not hungry at all. Strictly control portions. Don't feed from the table. No sweets, no flour, no carb-heavy food. Second, the weight control. Weigh your cat regularly, at least once a month. Record the numbers. If you notice weight gain, act immediately. Adjust the diet. Increase activity. Obesity isn't cute, it's a disease. It's a direct path to diabetes, arthritis, liver disease. Every extra gram of fat shortens your cat's life. Third, physical activity. Don't let your cat turn into a couch pillow, play with them. Every day, at least 15 minutes. Buy toys, cat trees of different heights. Organize vertical space. Cats are designed to hunt, jump, climb. When they're deprived of this, when the body degrades, muscles atrophy, metabolism slows down, problems begin. And fourth, regular vet visits, at least once a year, even if the cat looks healthy. Preventive examination, basic tests, this will help identify a problem at the earliest stage. Any changes in behavior are reason for an unscheduled visit. Cats started drinking more, using the litter box more often, lost weight, became lethargic. Don't wait. Go to the vet. Now. This is what distinguishes a responsible owner from a careless one. Attentiveness, willingness to act. Love that manifests not only in affection, but in caring for health. And now we've come to the most important part. What do you do if you have suspicions? If your cat suddenly changed habits, that's a signal. Started drinking water greedily, stomp signal. Goes to the litter box more often, signal. Losing weight before your eyes, loud alarm signal. Became withdrawn, avoids communication, another signal. Even one of these symptoms is a serious reason to go to the clinic. Immediately, not tomorrow, not in a week. Today. Diabetes is not a death sentence if you take control of the situation in time. Modern veterinary medicine works wonders. Cats with diabetes live long and happy lives, with proper treatment, with your love and care. But ignoring symptoms is a death sentence. Slow, agonizing. The cat will suffer, the body will deteriorate, and at some point it will be too late. Don't let this happen. Be attentive, watch your pet, notice changes, react quickly. Proper diagnosis and timely therapy will allow your cat to remain active, playful, full of life. She'll greet you at the door, purr on your lap, hunt toys, live a full life. It all starts with your observation, with your willingness to see the signals, with your love that manifests in actions. Because cats won't tell you they're in pain. They'll just change their behavior. And if you notice these changes in time, then you'll save your pet's life. Your cat depends on you completely. They trust you with their life. Don't let them down. Be the person who notices, who reacts, who does everything possible. And then your cat will live a long, happy life by your side, in warmth and safety, exactly as they deserve.